my goodness. It is the first live of 2021. It shouldn't be that significant, but I'm making it so because I love the new year. I love any opportunity, especially external opportunities to, I don't know, like start something new, do something new. Like say that I can leave the rest behind or the past behind and move forward. Good morning and Happy New Year, everyone. Hello, Dee, my beautiful friend and partner in goal setting and inspiration and all those good things. Hello, Emma Sarah. Thank you for saying I have a nice laugh, Jessie. I'll tell you, fun fact, the number one critical comment that I get on my YouTube videos is that I laugh too much, and people will say things like, you're not that funny, or it wasn't even funny, why did you laugh? And I'm like, so the title of today's video is New Year, Now What? Antiracism, mental health, and other people's opinions. So we can start with other people's opinions and how they're really affecting a lot of the things that we do and a lot of the ways that we show up, particularly in the places that we have started to do a lot of work. I say we as the collective. Some of us have been in this for a really long time. Some of us are new to the game, but it has been an incredible year for collective transformation. And if you don't want to give me transformation, then collective waking up. A lot has happened in, the past, 365 completely upside down roller coaster days. But it's all right because us right here on either side of the screen, we're still here. Some of us are not still here. It was a big year for loss and big scary things, but we are here, and that means something. It doesn't have to mean something cosmically. Like, I don't think that anyone that's gone deserved to be gone. I don't think it was meant to be or written in the stars, but I think that the meaning that we can now take from this is that we have the duty and obligation to move forward in purpose. And I say purpose for ourselves and then purpose for each other and the collective. Queen of Bread says, how is my trans child? They doing okay during quarantine? Thank you so much. Yes, I have a little trans boy. He's 9 years old. He's been doing incredibly well. There was some struggle, but I think given the circumstances, he's been doing really well. He's found a lot of comfort and camaraderie in the gaming community. So he plays Fortnite. He's met some new friends. And I think it was an opportunity for him to really expand his horizons. And he is in a now group support meeting virtually once a week with our local PFLAG organization for young kids, young trans kids. So that's really cool. Thank you for asking so much. That's really cool. So New Year, now what? How many out there, and you can leave this in the comments or just comment right now so I can talk to you live. How many of you out there are making resolutions? Like, do you do that? Do you set new goals? Do you journal about what you want to let go of and what you want to move forward with? In the video description after this goes into replay, I'm going to have a link for my, it's called Fail Proof Goals. It's a workbook. Dee, my friend who's on here right now, we did this together. I do it every single year. I've done it for the past several years. It's not what you think. I'm not like a set resolutions and like restrict your diet and all that kind of stuff type of person. I'm really into self-examination and how we can connect more to ourselves and then just show up better in the world, show up in a way that feels more aligned with our core values. So that's what the worksheet does for you. Emma says, I avoid resolutions, but I spend time thinking about my hopes and dreams for the year. Yes, love that. Love it. So over this past year, we've been through this collective transformation, if you will, or waking up. Anti-racism has been at the forefront of a lot of our conversations and what we are talking about on social media. Also mental health. These are two topics that obviously are very near and dear to my heart, something that is marked by my lifetime of work, and especially my my work on social media over the course of the past decade plus. And I'm very excited that people are entering this conversation in a more real way. But then there's also this way that we did it in 2020 that felt also very counterproductive, where We were arguing about the way that it should be done. We were shaming ourselves and each other. Shaming, not calling out, because I think calling out is like super, super important. I don't believe that there's a such thing as call out culture. I think that that's something that people who get called out made up to blame the side that's trying to be righteous and do what's good. But yeah, I think that calling out is really important. I think that shaming doesn't bring anybody forward. I think it's really important that we inspire change and that we hold grace for transformation. And if you cannot do that, that is fine, because I do not, under any circumstances, call on people who are being oppressed, who are being marginalized, who are being traumatized, who are being hurt, to like open up their hearts to people doing it. But I'm saying, for the people who have work to do, work on yourself. Don't be shaming other people for not doing it in the same way. So I think that that's something that we can improve upon in 2021, to examine what has worked for us and what we see is working, and what we see opens up conversation and actually inspires action, because conversation is great, but if it doesn't inspire action, then why are we doing it? And moving forward, I think it's really important to just be open to what actually works, even if it's uncomfortable, right? Because if it inspires action, then that's my definition of what works. Thank you, Brittany the Birth Witch. By the way, for those of you who are watching, Brittany with 2 T's, Brittany the Birth Witch, look her up on Instagram. She is my tarot reader. I have sent a bajillion people to her. She's so good. And I'm about to book another appointment. Really, really, really love her guidance and her counsel, and she's just a beautiful soul all the way around. So that was just a little commercial break right there for Brittany the Birth Witch. And then moving that into mental health, which I think is very much connected to our collective pain, and then also our collective progress. And the shame that we feel, the pressure that we feel, how are we nurturing our mental health so that we are able to show up in action? And I think during 2020, even though there was an incredible amount of stress, and the isolation caused even more stress on us, there were opportunities in that isolation for many of us to examine what we don't want in our lives anymore. I know that I'm someone that is not looking forward to moving back into like the hustle and the bustle, the rat race, and going to events all the time, and feeling pressure to be like in spaces with a lot of people when I don't want to be, and it wasn't good for my mental health. So I'm leaving that behind. I'm not returning to that. We'll move back into the anti-racism space. I found myself in a lot of conflict in 2020 that affected my mental health negatively. And it wasn't inspiring action in me. It wasn't about being uncomfortable. It was about being, putting myself in spaces where people did not want positive action. They didn't want to move ahead. And I was just absorbing all of that really ugly energy. So going into 2021, my focus is to invest in the people, the organizations that are already doing really, really good work. So that's one of the things that I learned from 2020. And so when I say new year, now what? In the title of this, New Year, Now What, is, okay, so we're here, right? And I'm not saying there has to be any pressure to definitely not lose weight. Let's be real. That's one thing I'm not putting on my list this year, because I don't give up, but I'm not talking about losing weight. I'm not talking about climbing that mountain, which you can do if you want. For me, it's about, what did I learn in 2020? What did I learn about myself? What did I learn about interactions with others, in relationships? What did I learn about nourishing myself, about what I really need? What did I learn about what I could let go of? A lot of things were stripped away from us, without our consent and without our participation, like being together in groups and not without our consent. Some people chose not to isolate. That's another story. Like, put on a mask, stop being racist, stop being terrible, stop being a garbage human. But there were a lot of things that were taken away from us that we wouldn't have necessarily chosen, but it was for our good. It was for, it was good for us to have to examine what we need and what we don't need. So what did we learn in 2020? And this is the way I'm approaching resolutions. What did I learn that's going to teach me how to live and show up better? And especially in the spaces that I care about most, which are anti-racism and mental health, and more specifically access to mental health for all. I think that when we get ourselves right, when we're nourished, when we're happy, when we are being compassionate towards others, when we can feel fulfilled and safe enough in ourselves that we can actually extend and out to others and want to care for others. I don't think broken people, and I'm using this term very specifically, people who are broken in that they cannot operate in compassion or love or truth with other people, when they're reaching out to help, they're giving a type of help that isn't actually nurturing. So I think that I know that when you are in the process of healing, or you have healed big things in yourself, it's you're showing up better in the world, and as you know, like as a better human. So I really want access for everyone in the mental health space, for mental health tools. And you know, that was a big thing in 2020 for me, moving away from Hay House, my publisher, and moving away from the very white, very misguided, very toxic spiritual wellness world, stepping out of that and into a space that I have created for true healing for myself, because that allows me to show up better and to serve my community better. But yeah, so what did we learn? New year, now what? Right? New year, now what is what did we learn? And that's, for me, is that I have to nourish myself more. I have to spend more time with myself. I have to be of service on a regular basis, because that's part of my nourishment. I have to pursue my creative wants and needs. This Disney store bag right now houses my new hobby, which is latch hook. It's coming along, folks. I'm latch hooking 70s style butterfly pillow. So yeah, we're taking care of ourselves in 2021. And something I learned in 2020 was that ignoring my needs was actually making me really miserable, pissed off human. So I'm doing the ugly crafting. Because that makes me feel good. And that actually makes me a better mom, a better partner, and a better everything. I know, oh my God, latch hook. I know, Christine. I started with a latch hook stocking for my oldest son's girlfriend. I made her a stocking for our mantle, and now I got the bug. But yeah, so what did I learn? I learned that there are 100,000 different ways to be anti-racist. I learned that there are really good teachers out there that are coming from spaces of love. And let me tell you, love looks all different ways. Love can look loud. Love could look aggressive. Love could look sweet and cuddly. Love can look all different ways. But there are teachers out there that are doing amazing work, that know much more than me. So it's not my job to teach. It's my job to refer to other Black and brown women who are doing like this incredible work in this space. I learned that being a student, there's virtue in being a student and admitting that you don't know everything. and I've never been one of those. I was like, I know like 2 things in this whole world. I'm good at like 2. And the rest is like, I'm all right. So, and then there's a whole bunch of stuff that I don't know at all. Like I'm not good at it all. So I think it's really important to know that there is virtue in being a student, in admitting or proclaiming, exclaiming that you don't know everything, that you have a lot to learn, and being open to that learning, being open to that opportunity. Gosh, it's why I love life so much. There's just like an infinite amount of things to learn, and I just want to soak it all up. So I want to show up better in the anti-racism space by being a better student and honoring my growth and my evolution as a biracial woman who has a lot to learn about her own internalized oppression, also anti-Blackness, and all the stuff that like this ugly society has placed in me, as it's placed in all of you. And then in the mental health space, I've learned that, you know, like this was the first year that I was consistent weekly therapy. I have another therapy appointment tomorrow. I'm very proud of myself for that. I've talked about my medication journey. I'm very proud of that. And I have learned that it is so important to put myself first. And it's a cliche, and it's something that I've said in the past, but I wasn't practicing in the past. But now that I'm practicing it, putting myself first, it's like life got so good. Life got so good, because when I'm showing up for people, it doesn't feel like I'm being depleted. It feels like my happiness is growing because I'm already full, right? So Christine says, when I was 18, I knew everything. At 52, I know very little with absolute certainty. Oh, when I was 17, I knew everything. I think back sometimes to conversations I had with my mother, like fights I had with my mother, and I was like, I was an asshole. So, and yes, love can look loud. Thank you, Christine, for affirming that. So I'm going to go. My question for you is, new year, now what? I have lots of fun stuff for you coming up. My links in my video description are going to lead you to my children's books, to causes that I support. You can also check out the link in my BEXLIFE bio. That's my link tree. And there's red X's that are for my organizations and my fundraisers that go 100% of the money. I just act as a funnel through my 501c3 nonprofit, Little Readers Big Change. 100% of the money goes to those causes. I do not take a salary as the president or founder. And then there are black X's that are vetted organizations and funds that I support. So definitely take care of those with any of your financial abundance that you have. And then there's other links like my books and my free stuff for you and ways to nourish yourself and all that good stuff. This is the first time I'm saying this year, but I end every video the same way. I am so grateful that you show up for me, because it inspires and compels me to show up for you. I have been doing this since 2009. I love it. It has definitely transformed me, and I know that it's transformed a lot of you being in community together. And I just cannot tell you how much it means to me. You are my community. You are my medicine. I say 3 times to affirm how I feel about you. I love you, I love you, I love you. And I say 3 times to affirm my gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please leave your comments. Share this video, but more important, share my meditation. I do a New Year's meditation, an annual one every single year. The tradition started in 2014. Share that. It's in my IGTV videos and on YouTube. And yes, Christine, God is great. God is great, and you are so good. I'll see you.